everybody, and welcome back to the show. I am Angie Orth, the number one podcast host of ever, and this is my assistant to the podcast host.
You know, I edit this whole show, and I can make you say whatever I want.
Yeah, you're right. I'm Angie. I don't do anything. Rachel does everything and is the boss of this whole enterprise.
That's correct.
How's that?
That's not even edited. Correct. Yes, hello, welcome back to But Did You Die?
With the Jet Sisters. It's us.
That's us. Wow.
Wow.
Well, that about wraps it up. Thanks for joining, everyone.
I was going to say, we got to stop hanging out or talking as much as we do. So welcome to episode 9, which we happen to be recording on Leap Day, which is a very exciting day. I guess depending on how you look at it. It's either one extra day. That's one extra day I have to do that much more stuff, right? I pray for these things. I need more time in between now and book launch. So that's kind of exciting. Or another day. Haven't we been through enough? So it depends how you look at it, right?
I always thought if I was ever going to do a crime, I would do it on Leap Day, because that would be easy to lie about it.
Just because you might be like, oh, I forgot about the extra day. I don't know.
No. It's like they'll be like, where were you March 1st? And I would be like, that was Leap Day, and they don't. You know, I'm saying it out loud. Like if I was gonna steal a car,
you would do it on February 29th, and so you wouldn't be guilty. That's not how any of that works.
They find out a couple of years later, and then they're like, where were you? And I could say that. Never mind. I think it really only works when you do a crime at 9 p.m., but then you have a flight across the world, and then you've got a second 9 p.m. That's when you can lie about where you were at 9 p.m.
I think you're overcomplicating crime.
Yeah. I'm not going to do a crime.
So much easier.
I'm not going to do a crime, but...
Apparently, because you would get super caught. Anyway... Yeah. Did you know that the chances of being born on February 29th are 1 in 1,461? I think if I was going to have a baby, that would be a fun day to have a baby on, eh?
That's a cool stat. Thanks for sharing.
Right?
Happy birthday if it's your birthday on leap year day.
That's exciting. That would be a fun day to get married on, although I read that it is actually considered unlucky in some cultures, but same as like Friday the 13th is considered unlucky, which obviously in my world, Friday the 13th is lucky. So, I don't know. February 29th.
I love Friday the 13th. I always think about you and how our family is lucky. It's a great day.
Oh, well, that's the nicest thing anyone in our family's ever said to me. Thank you.
All right, calm down. It's not that serious.
I'll dine out on that compliment for the rest of my life. All right, so let's talk about what we did last week. You had so much fun. And I did what I always do, which you have pointed out to me, is thrive under pressure. So tell me about the fun you had.
Yeah, we went drinking around the world at EPCOT, which I have never done. It's hard. It's hard.
It's hard to go to EPCOT.
Well, it's hard to finish drinking around the world showcase. There are 12 countries, and the idea is you get a drink at every country, so you can try new things. And I've never made it, probably because I usually try to do it in the summer. Good luck drinking in the heat, yeah, right. But we did it last week, and we made it through. Here's how. The lines were so long, it took us 10 hours to do it. So it was fine.
It's like a drink per hour.
Yeah, and we shared a lot of them. Because it's expensive, so if you're going to do it...
That's my question. That is my question. How much of a mortgage payment is it to drink around the world, like for you and Ben? Give me a rough cost estimate. Tickets, parking, drinks, and food for the day. Seriously, tell me what is your budget?
Oh, I don't know, because we have annual passes, so we don't think about tickets. We don't have to pay for parking.
That's good.
So that alone, that's...
But you did pay for it at some point in your life.
Yeah.
We're talking hundreds of dollars.
Hundreds. We shared drinks and we spent hundreds. Yeah, it's you have to plan for it, and we did it. We did good. We
And
made it
this
through.
is why millennials don't have, nobody wants to work, and all you do is go to EPCOT. Who does that
Sure
sound
do.
like?
And I love every minute of it.
Right?
Some great drinks, some not great drinks. I did a whole recap on me and Ben's YouTube channel, so if you want to watch it, go there. But it
I
was good.
enjoyed
It was a
those
good time.
videos. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
not really my thing. I like going around the world at Epcot, but like having that many drinks that's just heavy, and I would really rather ride the rides and not throw up later. So that's just sort of the trade-off for me. And I
Well,
remember we tried to do it that one time, and I got like two countries in, and I drank, what was it, sake? It was something really bad, whatever it was. And I want to say we threw up, and then that was kind of the last time I ever wanted to do that.
yeah, what was that? 2009?
2009? Yeah.
2009, our whole family went. I wasn't old enough to drink, but I remember vividly everyone getting sake and everyone throwing up in the bushes. I'll never forget it. It was
Embarrassing.
so funny. No
Yeah.
puking. When we got to France, I was like, I don't want to do this because I was so full.
Yeah,
Like,
that's just a lot of, like I said, it's really heavy. That's a lot of intake, a lot of like caloric intake. That's just, I don't know, not
yeah.
my vibe, but I'll go to Epcot, you know. I'll
You
go.
don't like Epcot. We talked
I
about this
don't
last
like
week. You do
Epcot
not.
as much as I like the other parks. It's not that I hate Epcot, it's just it's not my favorite one, I guess.
Sure.
But if you go during the various festivals, they have like food and wine and there's like the
Festival of
art.
the Arts.
I love those, and the garden one. Those are really fun. So that's a fun reason to go, and especially if you have annual passes, you can just go for all of these sort of seasonal events. I enjoy those. Those are fun. And Guardians of the Galaxy, like I said, best ride ever.
It was a great day. Yeah, a lot of fun. Super recommend it, but make sure you plan for it. Hey, you're getting some book reviews rolling in.
Yeah, I
That's
am.
exciting.
It is
How do you
exciting. It
feel?
makes me want to throw up every time I see that there's a new one because I'm like, this is it. This is the one. And then they're always pretty nice and pretty complimentary. I feel like people are picking up what I was putting down, and so anybody who's doing a review so far has received like an advanced copy from my publisher, my marketing team. So those are the people who are reviewing it thus far. What are you doing?
I'm trying to find one so I can
Oh,
read it, but I have to go
they're
through
just
all of
like
our
randomly
pictures.
texting. Yeah. So
Boring, man.
boring, man.
Okay, I have one here. It's very, you can't see it. You can't see it. It's very long. It's full page, so I'm just
Which
gonna
I
read some.
love. Can I say thank you to that person for being so detailed and literally paying attention to the words I wrote? That is insane. That means everything.
This is a great one. Okay, I'll do a quick da 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 da. It's a thoroughly enjoyable book because of the adventures, the way she has with words, and the valuable life lessons she learns along the way. I recognize my younger self in her struggles, as I'm sure many single women in their 20s and 30s will find. Blah blah blah. It's obvious that they came through hardships. Blah 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 blah. Favorite characterization. Okay, spoiler. I'm not gonna read that. Um, I don't need your approval. I don't need your judgment. I don't accept your shame. Go, Angie. Loved reading how the trip completely changed her point of view, and a billion more things. That's a very nice review.
It was a very
4
thoughtful
stars.
review. Right, and that's the funny thing. 4 out of 5. So here's what I've learned. I've learned that that's actually really good, and that's not a B. That's just like it's not Harry Potter yet. It's a great book, and people love it, and they give you 4 stars. I'm going to have to live with that. And so I have enough things to worry about. That is something I'm just putting over here, compartmentalizing, and it's okay. It's fine.
It's literally like, this is one of the best books I've ever read. I relate to her so much. 4 stars.
4 out of 5.
And then Ange dies.
Seriously, I just like melt into a sadness puddle of rejection, even though the review is wonderful and thoughtful and personal. I think yeah, from what all my writer friends are telling me, that's just how it is, and get over it. Also, don't read reviews, which I can't really help it at this juncture in my career. I have to read the reviews, and maybe I won't read all of them. I'm sure I will. Maybe I will have the maturity not to read all of them eventually, but I just like to know if it hits, I like to know if people get it.
What I think I need to do for you is print out the reviews without the stars so you can read the nice things.
That would be better.
Shall we move to travel news, which goes hand in hand with drinking around the world at EPCOT. Did you see that Disney announced, starting in 2025, free entry to the water parks if you're staying at an on-site hotel?
All the water parks? Well, are there just two now? There's two?
There's two, yeah. So when you
free?
When you book a trip with your family and you're staying at a hotel property, when you get there, you can just go to a water park for free.
That's very excellent deal. That's a nice perk because Typhoon Lagoon and Blizzard Beach are so fun.
Plan a trip, drink around the world. Next year, drink around the world. You can go to a water park for free if you stay at an on-site resort.
Here's a question. Is it all on-site resorts or is it like certain categories only? Because, sometimes that's a bit of fine print. Like you stay in the cheaper one and they're like, not you, only, what's the one? The Florida Grand Floridian.
It's definitely the Grand Floridian. All Disney hotels will receive this benefit, from value hotels like all-star resorts to deluxe accommodations like the Polynesian.
That's awesome. Hey, Disney, you go. You love to see it. You love to see a perk added on.
All right, Ange. I would like to talk about this week a little bit of a story that I read in your book. Can you tell us about your trip to Kenya?
Sure. Kenya was probably country number 10 on the list, 10 or 11 of this round the world trip. So Kenya is in East Africa. It's on the ocean over there, like on this side of the map, the one over there. The capital is Nairobi. That's where I flew in. And it's an awesome country. It's like Nairobi is this big city, super developed. There's malls, there's clubs, there's just everything you could imagine. It's not Africa you see on TV, which is like just out in the bush and there's no people and it's just animals. Although very close to Nairobi, you actually can do that. There's safaris and all the animals and the lions and the giraffes. And I think that's where Giraffe Manor is. You see all the Instagrammers go and they got the giraffes like poking in on their brunch and stuff. That's where that is. I didn't have to go. Yeah, I know.
Lion. Tours.
Okay, inside joke. So I was there, I think, for about 3 weeks. And the first 2 weeks I spent with a family that I did not know. It was a friend of a friend of a friend was like, hey, I know somebody who lives there. So I literally, sight unseen, did not know these people, did not know where they lived. I was like, I hope this goes well. And it did. They were lovely people and they were so kind to me to host me for 2 weeks. I had my own room. I had Wi-Fi. They had kids and it was a great neighborhood. Everything about it was great. You never know what you're getting into when you go somewhere and stay with people you don't know. And it was just really perfectly lovely. They showed me around. We went to church. They fed me their very, very high carb diets. It's literally like 7 different carbs that are all kind of the same carb. It's like rice, and something else. Yeah, not bad, but I was like, man, I need a steak so bad. Anyway, and I went on safari after I was with them volunteering for a couple weeks. I went on safari out to the Masai Mara, which incredible, just mind-blowing.
Who doesn't love Masai Mara? But for the people who don't know what that is, just tell me about it.
So the Masai Mara is an enormous like nature reserve, national park full of animals. It's on that route, what's it called? The Great Migration, where all the wildebeest and all the critters go from like one end of here to there, and it happens every year. So it's sort of in that mix. So you can see 100,000 wildebeest all at once, just tearing through the place. And you think, I don't know, I thought I'm going to go and we're going to have to look really hard to find the animals and maybe we won't see any and it's really hard. They're just everywhere. They're just everywhere. There's just lions and leopards and rhinos and just everything is just like they're just everywhere. And you're just driving around out in the savannah and it's flat and it's expansive and you're just, oh, look over there, look over there, look over there. Amazing. And they have so many cool hotels. I only got to stay at one because I was only out there for, I think, 2 nights. Felt like forever, but it was 2 nights. And these hotels are thebomb.com. So luxurious.
I have a question.
What the heck?
You're out on the safari. What
Yes.
are you in? Is there like are there gates on your windows? Or like is a lion gonna jump through?
A lion absolutely could jump through, which goes to show how very little the lions and whatnot care. Because there's people out there all day, every day. I mean, we were out 10 hours a day, just up when the sun came up and just going for miles and miles and miles. Like one day we drove all the way to the Kenya-Tanzania border and had a picnic, like on the border. And I say me and the guide, just out there. And the most gorgeous spread, expansive heiress of a picnic, you could ever have. Just cookies and pies and tea. So it was absolutely wonderful. And did I illegally step my foot into Tanzania? No.
But if you do it on leap day, no one will know.
It doesn't count. Anyway, so super spectacular. Highly recommend going to Kenya. There's also a lot more to Kenya than just what I saw, but I was really into slow travel that year and being in one place and getting to know people and places. So I really only had that experience, but I would do it again in a second.
What was the best thing you ate?
Kenya was not my favorite place for food. I think the best thing I ate was the last night I was staying with the family. I made them Great Graham's carrot chili recipe. It was the best thing.
The best thing you ate was something you made.
Was my favorite recipe. Yeah, and God love them. They did not like it. They were like chewing it and trying to smile. The poor kids, they were like, I can't believe we're eating this trash. It's just, it's just a big hearty chili. And they were just like, Mom, do we really have to eat this? Amazon guy.
Hey, puppies. What is one thing you learned in Kenya that you didn't know before you went there, maybe?
I learned so much when I was in Kenya. It was a really focused 2 weeks where I was volunteering at a compassion center. And I learned so much about what goes on behind the scenes with that. I had always been a compassion sponsor, so I had a kid in Bolivia and didn't really know the ins and outs, but I worked on the back end in the office, like less with the kids, but more helping to streamline processes. And you know how I love to streamline a process. And kind of helping the office do things and checking up on kids and going into the slums and meeting their parents and dropping off medications. And so I learned a lot about just how other people live and how fortunate I am that I could just gallivant around the world as a woman, unmarried, even though everyone was like, where is your husband? I still didn't have to have one to legally go out and live and do whatever I wanted. So I don't know, a lot of perspective change, I think, and just learning that the rest of the world does things differently and doesn't always make it wrong, but you can always kind of take that home as a lesson. I don't know.
That's good. That's good. Did you feel safe in Kenya as a single woman traveling by herself?
Yeah, I wasn't alone all that much because I was with the family. So I was very much just sort of like, they just scooped me up and took me to all the places that I never would have gone by myself. So I really didn't navigate Kenya by myself other than when I went out on safari. And that was at like a luxurious, eco-friendly, amazing lodge. So what could go wrong? Like the most dangerous thing there was the lions. And like, so what?
And like, so what? Sure.
Right.
Cool. Well, Kenya sounds fun, and you haven't been back since, right?
No, no, and I really want to. It's really top of the list. I would like to take all of us on a safari and just do the thing, you know? You see,
Yeah.
I mean, I think Instagram started when I was on my round the world trip. So the pictures I put up on Instagram from Kenya are like my feet overlooking a pool, overlooking the savannah with the worst filter you've ever seen. Just like sepia toned. Just truly the way Instagram was designed. So I would like to go back just to get more content. I have so little that I can use nowadays. I need to go back and
Well,
get
and
some
visit the
videos.
family.
And the kids are they're fully grown up. They're adults. It's terrifying. Yeah, I would love to go see them again and go back to the compassion center, all that. Yeah, I would love to recreate that. Most of the parts of that.
Most of the parts. All right, that's a great segue. Let's hear the disaster and answer the question, did you die?
Kenya actually had three pretty big, maybe even four pretty big incidents. Kenya was probably one of my larger incident filled. Yeah. When I was there was a grenade attack. Yeah, spoiler alert.
Didn't know that one.
I was almost in a head on collision. And what was
That's
the
life.
other? Yeah, I mean, that could happen anytime. Oh, the plane crash. And
Yeah.
then and then the one thing that I guess is probably everyone's greatest fear aside from terrorism, plane crashes and car crashes. I sat on the toilet.
Wait,
Oh.
hold on. You need paint the picture. Take us there. Everyone, close your eyes, except if you're driving. Everyone,
Yeah.
close your eyes.
Close your eyes and imagine it's early morning. The sun is not up yet. It's just peeking. It's just a little bit light. You open your eyes and you rub your eyes and you reach for your glasses and you can't find them. So you're like, that's okay. I'll just go to the bathroom without them. So you pitter patter down the hall because you don't want to disturb anybody who might still be sleeping. The household staff is already up cooking in the kitchen. You can hear them, but you're just, you don't want to let anybody know you're awake. So you tiptoe, you go to the bathroom, you do your business. You can't see anything. It's dark. You don't even turn the light on. Sit, do the thing, stand up, turn around, bend down to flush. And I'm blind as a bat without my contacts and my glasses. So I'm like, what is that? I'm squinting and I lean all the way down to the toilet where on the back of the toilet seat, not like the top of the tank, but the seat where my butt has recently been, and there is a snake just chilling on the toilet seat, just zigzagging his little head and not super irritated that I was there, but why is there a snake on the toilet? So it wasn't in the bowl, it probably touched me and I was so asleep that I didn't even realize it. So, that was exciting. Here's the thing. I wasn't scared because I'm not scared of snakes. I was concerned because I don't know what kind of snakes they have there. And up till that point, everyone's like, yeah, we don't really have snakes around here. So seeing one, I was like, well, that's a surprise. And everyone in the household, first of all, they didn't believe me when I went running out of the bathroom saying, there's a snake on the toilet. And they were like, no, 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 Miss Angie, no. And then I had to show them. And then they started running and screaming and everyone was losing it. So snakes are a rarity where I was. So nobody even knew what kind of snake it was. All we know is, to this day, all I know it was a black snake.
And what did they tell you a snake means? Which I think is probably the worst part of the story.
Yeah. So nobody in the home told me this. So it took another week before I found out this very important piece of information. So I sit on the snake. The night watchman comes, gets the snake, kills the snake, hangs its carcass on the fence outside. And everybody's coming from miles around to look at this snake on the deal. And I'm like, yeah, it's crazy. There's a snake, right? So I tell everyone I meet in Kenya, everyone. Like, oh my gosh, there was a snake and I sat on it. Ha ha ha. Isn't that so crazy? And the snake gets bigger with every retelling. And I met this hotel guy in Nairobi like a week later, and he was like, that's really interesting. And I was like, why? And he said, well, because here in East Africa, particularly in Kenya, a snake is a really bad omen. And so if a new person shows up and then a snake shows up, then that person is probably a witch or like a bad person. Like, pick a bad thing. And yeah, so I'm out there telling the whole world that a snake showed up when I showed up, and everyone's like, literally, like, that girl's gotta go. That is the evil Mzungu girl, and she's gotta go. So that was pretty.
Meanwhile, you're just like, la la la, I'm helping the children. Here's some food you don't like.
I just think I'm having the best time and changing the world, and everyone's like, we got to get her out of here because she's a witch. She's a witch. Yeah.
But did you die?
I did not die. If I was gonna die, Kenya really came for me. And as lovely as it was, much fun as I had, I was only there like 3 weeks, and I had 4, and I'm going to call this snake thing a near-death experience because it very well could have been a poisonous or a venomous snake. I don't know. Let's just say yes, it was. So I narrowly avoided death. And yeah, it was really something. It was a huge part of my adventure. Although, yeah, there were a couple moments where I really did, especially the plane incident, like, I actually went into a bit of shock after that because it was...
Hey, save it for the book. That's a story you don't get for free. You gotta buy the book to get the plane crash story.
True.
Hey, Kenya sounds great. Let me ask you this. Besides the snakes and the rice, a travel tip for Kenya. What do you got?
Kenya's pretty far away. It takes quite a long time to get there. So, you're going to need X amount of time, but I don't think people need as long on safari. If you have the luxury of 10 days to go on safari, then by all means do that. If you don't, 2 or 3 nights in the Masai Mara, you will be blown away by the amount of animals that you see, and you won't feel like you missed anything. The only animal I didn't see there's the big 5 and then the something 9. I don't know if it's the big 9 or the something 9. The only thing I didn't see was the rhino, and there's like 3 of them. So that's not insane to think, but I'm talking hippos, leopards, cheetahs, so many lions. I saw like 45 giraffes just standing around. 45 giraffes. When do you ever see 45 giraffes standing around? That's crazy. They're just everywhere.
Animal Kingdom.
See, that's what I thought. But this was even better than that. Because you're just driving around and all of a sudden there's a hippo just like running at you from where it's awesome. And you're like, there's crocodiles everywhere. I mean, it is cray bananas. You cannot imagine how awesome it is. If your only frame of reference is Animal Kingdom.
Great.
Listen, it's all in the book, and it's all so wonderful and fun and true, and yeah, but you don't need 10 days. You can definitely see a lot in less time than that, and then if you needed more time to go, I don't know, hike Kilimanjaro, or you wanted to put Tanzania in there, or do some kind of coastal journey, all those things are possible.
Love it.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing your Kenya story. Snakes are cool, unless you go to Kenya.
Alert.
They're not. All right.
Yeah.
What you doing this week?
Who, me?
You.
Freaking out.
Yes, I'll ask you again next week, and you can again tell me you're having a panic attack. Actually, I will see you next week.
No, it's not next week.
It's the week after that.
Right?
Cool.
Yeah. I think we have 12 days till launch. So by the time this comes out, we'll be
even less.
Even fewer. Yeah, fewer.
Oh man. Nice.
Yeah. It's exciting. When the time comes, leave a review. I think that is going to be more important. I'm not going to tell you what kind of review to leave. I will leave that to your best judgment. But leave a review, because that is what tells Amazon that people like your book and are engaging, and then it shows it to other people. So I think that's almost more important than any of the social media I'm doing, any of the TV or press. I think that actually matters more than anything. So if you could go ahead and leave me a really stellar review if you want to. But also, if you don't like the book, please never, ever, ever open your mouth about it. I'm fine. This is fine.
You're doing amazing, sweetie. Hey, it's almost over. We can almost talk about something else.
Yeah, and then I have to start writing another one, yeah? Hopefully.
Yeah.
That would be my dream. Like, have to, get to. That's what I want to do, is start another one.
Yeah, and the second book's going to be all about me and my journey to find love. I don't know where that came from. Hey, thanks everyone. Thanks for listening. What a great week. This was a fun one. I learned a lot about the Mumbai desert. What did we talk
the
about?
Masai Mara, which is in Kenya. What is the Mumbai desert? Listen, some people are geographically challenged, and that's okay. Even people who don't know how to read a map can travel. And that is the tip I want to leave you with today.
Thanks, everybody. We will see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.